Utep Salam. Hello, everybody. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to today's podcast where we are going to be talking about One Piece chapter 1148, very soberly titled Ronya. So, Ronya is obviously one of the kids who were abducted previously. So, we were introduced to them and we were told their names. There's Bjorn, there's one called Bjorn, I believe. There's one who is the granddaughter of Elder Jaru. There were several different kids, and Ronya was one of them. So the children are approaching a cliff, and there's an arrow supposedly created by Gunko that's protruding from the cliff. So the plan is to get the children to walk on that arrow one by one, and when they walk, Gunko will deactivate the arrow, and they basically fall off the cliff. And we know what happens when they fall off the cliff. Obviously, it's a plan that the Holy Knights are using to threaten the giants and to get them to comply. And it's horrible, right? Because the Celestial Dragons, the Holy Knights, are horrible people. Especially Summers, because Summers is very adamant and hell-bent on broadcasting this to the whole of Elbaf, right? He wants them to hear the screams of the children as they are falling and as they are crying for their lives, which is insane. I really hope this man will be dealt with in the dirtiest possible way. So in the previous chapter, we were introduced to Ronya, and she seemed to be the most level-headed one among all of her classmates. She was the one that was remaining calm, and she even invited her other classmates to chill and that everything was going to be fine. But as she realizes how dangerous the situation is, she also starts losing it and panicking, which is very normal. Elder Jaru, the de facto regent of Elbaf at the moment, and the people of Elbaf in general, are faced with a dilemma. They can either choose to save the children and forfeit the library, which contains tremendous knowledge about possibly the Void Century, the history of Elbaf, the culture of Elbaf, the world as it used to exist prior to today's One Piece world. Or they can preserve the school and the library and lose the children. So there's no right answer here. No matter what choice will be made, they will end up losing something very valuable. And even the people of Elbaf are split, right? Some people are saying, let's save the children. Oh no, let's save the library. And it's an extremely hard and tough decision that they shouldn't have to make. But again, because the world government are horrible people, here we are. Robin, who decided to take action in the last chapter, attacks Summers. I don't know how she was able to catch him off guard. Isn't he supposed to have observation haki? And knowing that he's a holy knight, isn't he supposed to have an advanced version of observation haki? How come Robin, who isn't like that strong of a fighter, is able to catch someone like that off guard? I found it a bit strange. But anyways, even though she was able to land a blow on him, every single effort that she subsequently makes to take him down is pretty much in vain because he's completely immune to everything that she does. Every time she pops his head off, it grows back or something. He also has a regenerating power like Gunko, which brings me again to ask myself, what are the limits of these people's powers, right? What can they do? What can they not do? How come they are able to regenerate? Is that a devil fruit? Is that a power given to them by Im-sama? Later in the chapter, we find out that there are limits to their regeneration powers, but we get to that later. Robin is unable to deal with Summers, which is obvious because Summers is too strong for her. She's also unable to free her crewmates because she's unable to neutralize Gunko's powers. So as all of this is happening, Summers keeps urging Jaru to make a choice. And Jaru eventually makes a choice and he chooses to sacrifice the school and the library and tells Miss Angie to burn down the school and the library, which makes Summers very happy. But before he can even rejoice, before he can even bat an eye, he is struck. He is struck by no other than the man, the myth, the legend who came in to save the day. Legendary pirate, number 3 on the Rogers Pirates. Ladies and gentlemen, he's struck by Scorpa Gaban. He is struck by Scorpio Gaban, and that moment was so satisfying. Oh my god, because obviously Summers is a horrible person. But now, let's talk about something. Now, Is Copper Gaban going to be able to defeat Summers? In his prime, he will have certainly been able to defeat Summers, but he's now old. And also, there is no evidence that Summers is going to play fair. He might summon Gunko and Kinningham to help him. Maybe Copper Gaban can take down Summers by himself, but in the events that the other two show up, is he going to be able to handle them too? It's important to note though that Summers looked frightened. He was sweating and shaking in his boots. And of course, his ability to regenerate was deactivated. Maybe because of Copper Gaban's strong haki, maybe. But again, who will win this fight? Tell me what you think in the comments. I obviously want Copper Gaban to win because these people are horrible people. And honestly speaking, they deserve to be tortured. They deserve to be thrown in the blender. That's what's up. But is he going to be able to handle them by himself? No Luffy, no Loki. For a man his age, I think that's going to be a bit tough. Another thing that I found surprising was the fact that Summers looked surprised to see Copper Gaban. And I didn't understand why. Like, were they not aware that he was on the island? Are they not aware that he's on Elbaf? Like, these people are supposed to be the highest echelon of the world government. So they're supposed to have access to that kind of information. They were supposed to know that he was on the island. It's like in the last chapter when Killingham was like, oh, we came here for a mission, let's not provoke Luffy. Like, do you really think that you come on an island where Luffy is and make this kind of noise and Luffy will find out that you are here and he'll just let you go? No. People like Luffy, people like Copper Gaban, if they find out that the world government is doing some dirty things wherever they are, they'll fight the world government, period. Especially considering that you have kidnapped this man's child. They literally abducted the child of Copper Gaban and they thought he was just going to sit there and mind his business. Come on, man. Come on. Anyways, this chapter was good. This chapter was so good. Actually, I can't wait for the next one. Tell me what you think in the comments. Tell me who you think is going to win, Copper Gaban or Summers. And I'll see you in the next podcast. Peace.